So there is this whole process of the writing on the one side that connects everything. On the other side, of course, we have also a montage and editing work at the end. These are two completely different things, but they come together. So I would like you to tell us a little bit more about the way you wrote the script and about also your decision to show us the script in the film. Mm-hmm. So the film in the film, in a way, which you do until the end, mentioning scenes. And yes, thank you so much.
Yeah, the start for me was that film La Grande Bellezza by Sorrentino.
All right.
That was 2013. Because for me that was one of the films that it was not about a narrative structure, it was not about a story, it was about images, it was about scene, it was about an atmosphere. And nowadays most of the films are dominated by the story. And that used to be different. Well, in the 60s, I think, by films by Antonioni, for example. So this was for me that Sorrentino film kind of proof that you still can do it. But then, yeah, I wrote some things down for a new project, and that was related to that. And some sentences are still in this film. But then there was another moment, 3 years later, that my film Wistful Wilderness was being shown on a seminar about water. And people came to me from the Amsterdam Harbor. Well, such a film about transition. I also should make that about Amsterdam Harbor. And I thought, well, why not? It's interesting. So they showed me more or less what was happening in the harbor area. I did a lot of research. So that was very interesting. If you really need to have a fundamental change in how the whole society is organized, how can you get it? How do you do it? So I really wanted I was curious. I really wanted to ask all those big companies what their opinion was about it. So I wrote a script for a documentary, and that was rejected because the funds and television broadcasters, yeah, it was too essayistic. It was also too cinematographic. It was not for a broad audience. And they were afraid that I would be influenced by those big companies. Well, everyone who knows me, okay. Then I thought, well, and I was a little bit frustrated that there were companies I couldn't come in to do some shooting, as I mentioned in this film now. So I decided to make a fiction film in the same area about the same problems, but in a fictionalized way. So I wrote a fiction screenplay, all played by actors in all kind of scenes. They discuss what is happening in the world. And also that screenplay was rejected. Because, lots of reasons. The photographer Leah in that version, she found that man, the young dead man, on page number 19. That was impossible. You always had to start with something like that. And the screenplay was just 72 pages, and the screenplay has to be 90 pages. So all kind of, and that scene with that motor guy, is that kissing couple, asking Leah to make a picture. That was a kind of scene I immediately had to cut out because it had no meaning. I was disappointed, and then I decided to make a kind of no-budget script. And I thought, well, I I myself, I will read the script as a kind of monologue interieur in a voice. I ask all actors also to read the text. Very simple. That takes them maybe an hour or maybe half a day. So that's not too expensive. They will do it for a bottle of wine. And I use all the documentary images I already had shot myself. And that's it. And then the Film Fund had a new, well, I don't even, how do you call it, a new loquette, a new
budget, a new kind of program?
Yeah, you could ask subsidy in another way. And I submitted this no-budget screenplay to that new form. And they were very enthusiastic. This was exactly what they were looking for. So I got money. So I could make the film with not an enormous amount, but with money. So I could pay those actors, and I could do more shooting. And yes, and so this kind of no-budget structure is still in this film. And of course, in the editing, that's another moment. I did have to rewrite all kind of sentences and all kind of texts to get them, in a good connection to the images.
But
we did a lot of,
Sorry, you had the structure in your mind from the beginning on how?
No, actually not. The documentary, of course, had not this structure. That fiction screenplay also had not this structure. It was the no-budget version that had this structure.
Okay.
Yeah.
Thank you so much. Is there someone who would like maybe to ask a question? Yes, we have 2 hands I can see. Can you please hand over the microphone? And then... yes.
It's interesting to listen to you talk about how the structures, the funding structures, in some way channeled your activity. And I think one of the reasons that I felt very moved by the movie was that the structure of it seemed to indicate the possibility of a forward momentum in a positive way, about these big things that we can't figure out, that are too much for an individual to figure out. Your film suggested to me that the thing to do with that is just to, it's the thing about embracing chaos, to allow all these different things which are interrelated and you have no control over, to just be open to them and in some way hopeful, or maybe not. Maybe hopeful is not even the right word. Just you keep opening to it. And also this thing about love that was in the movie, I think was really, in some way you have to kind of, it's what the other woman was saying, it's somehow you have to love the environment as you find it.
Yeah.
I'm sorry.
Yeah, I think you're very right,
I just think it was a really good movie, and it's very rare that I find a movie which sort of transcends the sort of ideas that the ways that you need to do it. You're supposed to do it this way. You're supposed to have something happen on page 19. All of these things that are ideas, and none of them really work. And the thing that you need to do is just to stay open and stay in the moment, and things open up in a way which is constructive and to do with the way we all interact with one another. I don't know.
Oh, wow. Thank you so much. It's always so great that people understand what you try to tell. So, thank you. And in a way, I made another film, the film Wistful Wilderness. In that film, I also combined a personal storyline. It was my love died during that film, with a documentary line. And both lines, that was the island that got lost into a kind of wild nature. So I knew you can combine very different things, and I have to trust myself. They are in my head combined, of course. And if I can have both things in my head, and even more than those two things, I can try to tell about them for an audience. So, yeah, I'm looking for ways, to tell something about it,
Thank you.
Thank you.
Hi. Thank you so much. This is the very first film of yours that I've ever seen, and I was so moved by it. I'm going to go and watch all of your other films now. And I also thought of Antonioni when you said that. I was thinking of La Notte when they're walking in this landscape that's kind of tearing down or building up these transitional landscapes. And I also thought, and this has to do with my question, about Rendezvous de Anna, the Chantal Akerman film, where a filmmaker travels through Europe, but she doesn't say anything, and the film is only what people say to her. And your film put me in mind of this because of this double narrator thing. And I was curious of how you chose to show Leia, like the first time you are speaking to camera, and then we see the back of what feels like your head in the scene. So I was just curious about your choices of portraying Leia literally on screen, because I thought maybe it would only be the perspective of the camera that was Leia. So that was my question.
Yeah. Good question. It was not my intention to be in the film. Yeah, except for that part of my hair, you see. But, someone deleted the hard disk and all the material on it, of course. So we had to reshoot certain things. And that were the scenes in that kind of studio-like situation. And but I also had to add some new texts. It was in the editing. We were in the editing. So we did the reshoot. And my cameraman said, well, if you have to do your new text, why can't I shoot you too? Why can't you be in the frame? Let's try. You never know. And then in the editing, when we went on with the editing, my editor convinced me that it would be a good idea, that we could use maybe some of those moments shot on me. And I was a little bit reluctant in a way. I was hesitating about that. But in the end, I thought, well, maybe you have to do it. Because it was a little bit too much, it felt a little bit too much as hiding, as something, if I was afraid to be in the film. So I thought, I have to be more courageous and just show yourself. That was the reason. So it came not on purpose, but it came in the process. Is that a sort of answer to your question?
Yes, it is an answer, and it's a beautiful answer. I just was curious also, too, about the age, because the age of the narrator and the different ages through the film, I found it very moving. I don't find many films like this, and as somebody who is middle-aged woman and an older, like to sort of tease out the difference between being in middle age and being in older age, and those differences in time. And then you had the younger Leia in it. So I thought that was really fascinating to have those different times represented.
Yeah. Thank you.
Yes, but then is a film also about the whole life, about memory. about standing in a moment in life where you look back and you try to make a sense out of what you have experienced in your life, which is very difficult for everyone. This is why I said it's an existential film in a way, and I think this is profoundly moving myself, the way you did it. And there is also, well, again, this is cinema, this intimacy you create with your characters that you frame very often in close-ups. And even if it is a mean of a, let's say, self-made cinema or a poor cinema, it's a strong way of depicting human relationships. Can you tell us something about it?
Yeah, for me, it was amazing. I did not realize, but my position as a director was totally different from the normal position of an editor, of a director, because I was an actress. I had to become an actress for the actors. So normally, as a director, you can comment on a scene when you're shooting. After the scene, then you say a little bit slower, or you don't pronounce that word correct, so let's try again, take 2 or take 5. But now I was in the scene, and I had an immediately I had an influence on what was happening with the actor. Just 1 meter from me, we were next to each other, opposite. So sometimes I was hesitating, and I could then see, will it come? Will she know the text? What will happen? But also in that scene, playing in that scene, and especially with Gijs, the main character, the man, Jacob. That was sort of, it felt like a very intimate relation I had with him. And the funny thing is, I worked together in my office with his brother, and also having a quite a strange relation with him, but finally only quarreling. But so it was something special.
Thank you. Anyone else who would like maybe to join our conversation over here? Then I would like also to talk about another aspect which is quite important, and other photographs you have been using, not only because Lea is a photographer, but it's also a choice of mise-en-scène to use photographs and as a material. They are almost like an archival material in a way. They works like. So would you maybe say something about this aspect of filming photographs?
Yeah, I went to the film school in '68 because I was a sort of photographer then. So photography was always very important for me. And in the whole research for the documentary film, and even still now, I go on with it. Well, I think I have thousands of pictures on that area. And really, maybe I'm even more a photographer than a filmmaker. I don't know.
Yes, so it was important for you to have these materials as such.
And I did not make the DJ photos. That's different. But I love using all kinds of material in films, as long as there is sort of a relationship. There is always a part is mini DV, the Japan part. The shot by me in Japan on my first camera, a Sony 1000, and it's mini DV, and you see that strange quality of pixels. There is even 16 millimeter in that I shot when I was on the film school. I think I shot it in '69, and it was really there, sort of a desert. And already then, in that period, we were busy with biosphere, with just that report of the Club of Rome was just published, and that makes an enormous impression on us. So long are things going, well, in a way, the wrong side. Yeah.
That's for sure.
Yeah.
That's for sure. Is there anyone else? I cannot see very well. No, not yet. I would like to go a step back and speak again about Leah and about yourself and about the way you are mixing up these two, let's say, narratives. She's like a double, kind of double, maybe yes, maybe not. You also tackle this in the film itself. You say at a certain moment, I'm Leah, but I'm Leah.
Not, yeah.
So you are really even speaking about this, which is evidently going on in the film. And I found it really very interesting how you go in and out, something that seems fictional but autobiographical a little bit to some extent.
Yeah, there's quite a lot of autobiographical stuff in it, and those letters are real letters. And the last letter is the real last letter of a friend, let's call him a friend, but I have to say an ally, in a certain period of my life. And I really had a feeling, I read those, I gave myself 1 year to reread all those letters. And I had to find a way to get in a sort of peace with myself about it, of course. Right. And in a film, and I couldn't find the reason. So it was, my conclusion is you can't really know another person. So, finally, there are always mysteries in everyone. And so this film did not give me a kind of solution, but it gave me the feeling that I did everything to find it, to find out, to explore it as far as I could.
Yes, giving it, as you say in the film, time to grow older and maybe understand from another perspective, or not, what was going on.
The perspective now is from, okay, it happens, and it's part of the chaos, and I have to accept it. And yes, the reason I thought I need a personage, a character like Leah, someone else, that was also to give me a certain freedom, not to only talk about myself. And there are moments, of course, I am talking about, a kind of imaginary myself,
We were talking about a perspective, and the film culminates in a perspective. So cinema is about perspective anyway. But I would like you to comment a little bit on this final perspective. You try, the character of Leah is trying through the whole film to reach this highest point, and finally you did, very courageously, I guess, because you were up.
Yeah, sure, I really was up,
And this is a focal point in the film. This is very important, this idea of perspective, of this perspective. Can you maybe say a couple of words?
And the funny thing is, I did not write the text for this man, the crane machinist. These are his own words. And I like that. And in a way, they are very trivial. And I also like that triviality in it. So the world is a beautiful world, he says. And it is in a way so, moving that he can see things so simple. And I'm jealous, of course, a little bit. But it is also his honesty. On that right moment, I'm there asking him such a question. And he's telling me that. It feels so authentic. And I like that. The same as those guys for that how do you call it, that wagon, that white wagon, the young man, those laborers asking for water, that moment,
yes,
the water
yes.
scene. It is a real moment. Of course, there was a scene that guy would ask for water, but what would happen? I didn't know. I just explained him a little bit, the situation. And I asked him, go ahead, do it. And they made a beautiful scene out of it. Because they are real people. And I like that kind of, it is fiction and it is reality and it is authentic and it is a documentary moment in a way. You record something that is a real feeling. So yeah, that really moves me.
And it's also very moving to me that we hear this sentence again and again, don't be afraid, Leah.
Yeah, don't be afraid.
Which is, don't be afraid, Leah, that you say to us, viewers of the film, in a way. That's, I feel it as a kind of message of courage, of civil courage, of personal courage that you are handing over to us.
That's true.
Is it like this?
Yeah.
A gift.
A gift
From you. A gift from you. I think we are towards the end of our conversation. If you would like to maybe ask a final question, we will be happy to hear you. Otherwise, I would then ask, let's say, a closing question, not a final question, but a closing question. I am really hoping to see your next film. So my curiosity goes also towards your future plans, and if you have already something maybe going on that you can talk about or not. But we are all here waiting for your next work.
In the meantime, I made another film, but a more straightforward documentary on that demolishing of that coal-fired energy plant. But yes, I don't know yet what will be my next film. I will think about it, but I think it will still be kind of reflecting on life and death, I suppose. Yes.
So thank you so much for your work, for being here with us, with all your body of work, and sharing with great generosity your.
It was amazing to be here and to find an audience with so much interest in films like this. So it's still very, very special to me. Yeah, I thank you all.
Really, we can say that. Thank you to you all for your interest, for staying here with us, and we wait for the next
thank
film.
You too.
Yes, anyway. Thank you, Digna. Thank you, everyone.
Thank you.